Hi, I'm J-Man. In this video I'll be giving you a rundown of my truck. Now it's 4-wheel drive, 4-wheel steer, all metal and has portal axles. Let's dive straight into it. So it's 4-wheel steering, but I can also change do this one here, and now it's front wheel steering only, or I can go back and use rear wheel steering only, which is really nice. And on top of that, put it back to 4-wheel steering, I can also put it in grab mode and do it go like that, which is really handy for side hilling, for instance. Okay. The winch is also pretty cool, so I can also operate that with the remote control like that and like that. It's pretty strong actually. So I kind of like this winch. It was one of the cheaper ones, I believe, but it's all aluminum. That's what I like about it. It's supposed to, it's more for looks than for functionality, in my case at least. This truck has a Hobbywing Axe R2 in it. It's a 2100 kV and it's super good in this car. So look at this minimum speed. This is ridiculous. And it still has torque. It absolutely won't stop. I cannot hold it. It's crazy. Very good system. And the top speed is around, what is it, I don't know, 10 kilometers an hour or something, which is more than walking pace, so it's fine for me. I will try to link most of the parts in the video description below, so be sure to check that out. Let's start off with the body. So this body is an enduro body. I put some Rubicon stickers on it, some decals and some Jeep ones. These all came off one sheet, which also I will of course link in the description. I think they really complement this body, so they make it complete. If you don't have those, it doesn't look so scale. Now this body came painted this way, and the things I did are the decals. Also I put Arnold Schwarzenegger in there as a driver. Look, he has no legs though, but you cannot see that from the outside. Put some rope here. Installed LEDs into it, which I will get back to later. Put this extra jerry can on it. Put this oil barrel on it with the belts around it, so it looks really scale. Over here there's a hook dangling, because if you have something dangling, it also makes it a lot more scale. It's something moving to look at when you are driving this vehicle. Next, this snorkel. This was also not coming with the body. This LED bar as well. This is really nice. I will also get back to that later in the video. And of course, the bumpers. Now let's take it off. Have a look at the underside of the body. So here you go. So these are very big LEDs in the front, as you can see. They're multi-LEDs. They're 12 volt. I run this rig on 3S. This is the wiring for the rest of the LEDs, and in the rear lights there's just some 5mm LEDs. And also there's some magnets attached to this. I secured them first with double-sided tape and then went around it with a glue gun to secure them further in place. Guys, now these are the lights that I'm running during the daytime. These are just the LEDs in the bumper. They already give quite some light, and the ones in the rear, they're diffuse red light, so they don't give a lot of light. And then additionally to that, I actually can wire up this one and these main headlights along with the tail lights by plugging in an extra socket over here. Okay, so we need to connect these two up together. door back up again. And look guys, they're super bright lights, these. Don't know if it'll show on the video, but they really are. And these rear lights are also way brighter than of course these daytime running lights in the bumper, because they're just stronger LEDs. These are diffuse, these are non-diffuse LEDs, both red LEDs though. I wanted to show you the LED bar as well, so I can cycle through it. Blue, red. This one I like best. It's like a Baywatch car, this one. Alright guys, let's get this body off and look underneath. So, look at this beauty. All metal, stainless steel chassis. I made a separate video about that along with a review of the portal axles on this vehicle, so be sure to check that out. They're really nice. Yeah. Now guys, this whole vehicle, all the hardware is hex hardware, as you can see, and it's all stainless steel, so every single bolt is stainless steel. Nothing will rust, and all the rest is aluminum. Now let's have a look, and I think best way is to go top to bottom or front to rear. Starting with this bumper. This bumper is a aluminum bumper, really nice. This piece is actually steel. That's the only steel bit on it. It's painted, but yeah, still it may, when you scratch it up, it may rust, and it's quite a heavy part. But you can also take it off by just unscrewing it, of course, and just take it off completely. Going further, this is custom made, just an aluminum plate, let's say, with some legs to hold the battery. There's some rubber strip I pasted underneath to keep the battery in place. This aluminum box for the receiver, and this also has some BECs in it for the servos. I'm talking about the servos. You can see them there. They're Power HD 25 kg, full aluminum cased servos. They are absolutely really good. Now maybe you can see the part number like that. Yes, I think you can. LW25MG from Power HD. Super good servos. I'm very pleased with them. Also, one good thing to note here is these joints here. These are Kicks joints. You can see it, it's written on that one there. And these are aluminum with a stainless steel ball, but they are so smooth. They are very good. They're quite pricey, but they're really worth it. I had cheaper ones, which came with the links earlier. Also aluminum ones, but after a few runs they would get a lot of play, and they're not good anymore. Now, a small detail, you see the rubber there. You may see the rubber there if my camera wants to focus. Here, between the rose joint and this bracket, there's a small piece of rubber which keeps this bar from sagging. It won't hang down because this rubber keeps it in place, always upright, let's say. Okay. Now these portal axles don't have any reduction in them. They are just made to have more ground clearance here. This is a lot of ground clearance. Yeah. Going further, these are some very nice skid plates which you can customize. These are all separate screwed pins, let's say. And it's just attached to this gearbox like that. Here there's a stainless steel slider to protect a bit this plate, but even though the plate is actually aluminum, so it's not absolutely necessary, I would say. And then we have this gearbox. The gearbox is all aluminum and all steel gears in it. And this is really good gearbox. For the price, I think it was around like 30 euros. paid, including shipping. It is amazing. It's still my first gearbox and it has seen a lot of kilometers and there's like almost no play in it. It's a reverse gearbox, so as you see, when I move the car, the front prop shaft moves in the other direction as the rear prop shaft. You see? And this is done to avoid torque twist. And you know, torque twist, when you accelerate, then the chassis will want to bend like this. And this is it. You especially have this if the prop shafts run in the same direction, but by having them run in opposite direction, you avoid this torque twist almost completely. I don't think this car has any torque twist anymore, which is very, very good. Yeah. Now, the downside of it is in your diffs, in your pumpkins, you need to have in the front and the rear different gears. Yeah? You need reverse gears in one of them and normal gears in the other one, because otherwise one axle will spin that way and the other will spin that way. Not much will happen, I believe, with your car, or you will break it or something. It won't drive. So be sure to order reverse ring and pinion gears for one of the pumpkins. Okay, now going on. Let me show this motor here. This is the AX R2 system, and it's in this case it's a 2100 kV 540L, and you can see it's a really tight fit with this link here. Yeah, because actually I had to put other ball joints on the end of that link. They're angled ball joints. You cannot see this, but they're slightly angled, which is, I believe, in the original SCX10 II also the case, by the way. Now, I forgot the shock towers, also aluminum, and the magnets are attached like this here. I don't know if you can see it very well. The camera won't focus properly, it seems. Okay. This I just placed here to hold my cable for when it protrudes into this cover through the hole of the cover there, so I can plug in the lights when I want to. And then I made a custom aluminum plate again. This is bent down and then back straight again to keep the X ESC in place and to put it actually as low as possible. So you see this is pretty low. So everything on this vehicle is at the center of gravity is as low as possible. Even the servo, you look when the springs go into compression, the dampers go into compression, you can see the amount of play that there is still between the servo and this plate. It's almost non-existent, so that's, I think you cannot get any better than that. And also for the axe, there's almost no play between the links and this bracket, so it's perfect, very low down. Same in the front, by the way. So if you compress the springs, also the servo disappears between the frame rails. Everything is pretty tight there. This is a custom plate which I made. It's stainless steel and it's just bolted to the pumpkin, as you can see. It's actually just to protect this steering linkage here and to act as kind of a slider to go over rocks and everything. And then going on to the rear, this bracket is an aluminum one with the magnets on it. I also made this, pretty easy to make this one. And then we go on to the rear bumper, as you can see. Now the shocks, they are shocks with two springs. So there's a separator here, and there's one spring and the other spring. You can swap these springs out for more stiffer or more softer ones. Only one softer or two softer you can go. And then you can also, of course, still play with the oil inside of the shocks. really nice shocks, aluminum, completely aluminum. And they're mounted to the knuckles at this location that you can see there. Yeah. Guys, one little note about these axles. This is a spare one, but you can see the knuckle on here. This has a mounting point for the suspension, for the shock absorbers. Yeah, look here and there. You could also mount them there and there, of course, but looking at the vehicle, it would be a lot more difficult to mount these shocks at that location, I believe, because then they would be inwards slightly. So I don't like it. And the problem is that if you order new axles of these, that typically they only come with this at one location and not at the other location anymore. Now there are some separate knuckles which you can buy, which do have this, but yeah, then the question is, will these separate knuckles made by another company fit on the axles that you have? In my case, yeah, for one of the axles it was the case, and for the other axle it was not the case. So I had to kind of force it on, which is not ideal. That's just something to note. So if you can get hold of axles with the mounting points for the shocks at both left and right, then be sure to order those. Also wanted to show you these reverse gears I was talking about earlier, which are in the pumpkins of this axle, so in that. So here you can see that there's two different ones, yeah? This one, the teeth point the other direction than this one, and the corresponding pinion, it's the same way. Now one more thing guys, the wheels. These are beadlock wheels, so they're separate parts with a clamping ring to clamp the tire. And these are Canyon Trail tires, and yeah, both wheels and tires are from AliExpress. These are actually the rip-off TRX4 tires. As you can see, it has the same tread pattern. They perform really well, but the compound is a bit harder or less sticky than the original Traxxas compound. So if you really want to go on the rocks and everything, I would recommend get the original Traxxas tires. If you don't really climb that much rocks and you are more in the dirt and everything, or on gravel or whatever, then you can easily get these. They will suffice. They are they will perform the same way than the original Traxxas tires then. So guys, there you have it. I hope you enjoyed this video and you learned something, or you got some ideas to build your own scale rig like mine. A thumbs up would be very much appreciated. See you later in the next video. Bye bye.